This is Pip.
So this is Pip, is it? Come in, Pip. Oh, do you wish to see Miss Havisham?
If Miss Havisham wishes to see me...
Ah, but you see she doesn't. Come along, boy.
Jean Simmons' legacy is, I think, one that surprises you. She moved from being a fabulous sort of bright flame of a teen actress in the likes of Great Expectations into a kind of a solid Hollywood career without looking back.
Your tone is cold.
Did you expect it to be otherwise?
I thought I'd done everything I could to make matters up to you.
By sending me every eligible bachelor you knew.
I chose only my most trusted aides, soldiers who had distinguished themselves in the field of battle.
I'm not a decoration to be awarded to some deserving officer.
It's time you were married. Believe me, only in marriage can a woman find the real meaning in life.
I should like to throw these candlesticks at you.
Well, if you must, at least let's not set fire to the place.
Jean Simmons' legacy is the legacy of a great movie star. She, at the height of Hollywood's epic Technicolor era, she was filling the screen. She has an amazing track record with amazing parts and amazing films. She is really a proper movie star, a term that's slightly thrown around too easily.
He's coming, Marcellus. You'd better go.
Caligula and I have been in competition before, and I've never lost to him.
At least you're frank, Marcellus.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Then all the tales I've heard of you are true.
Every man makes enemies?
All your enemies seem to be women.
Yes.
She was not only a beautiful woman, but a really good actress, not only in comedy and in light-hearted fare, but also in serious drama.
Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unlaced, pale as his shirt, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors. He comes before me. He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it.
You always believed her. She made this incredible Ophelia at a very, very young age, and her work is going to grow as the years go on.
We're blocks from the mission.
Come on, a little walk will do you good.
What time is it?
It's dawn any minute.
What makes the light so strange and white?
Because only in Times Square, the dawn gets turned on by an electrician.
I think she's one of the most intelligent female movie stars, not just of the decade, not just of her career, but of all time.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Jean Simmons was born in London in 1929 to an athletically gifted family.
Her father, Charles, was a PE teacher and was famed for having been an Olympic bronze medal winner at the 1912 Olympics in gymnastics. So some of her lightness of foot, her ability to dance, may well have come through her father.
From a very early age, she showed signs of wanting to become a dancer, an acrobatic dancer at that. She also had quite a sort of penchant for performance and singing. In fact, during the war, when families were sent down into the underground as temporary bomb shelters, she would, as a very young girl, actually sing to entertain the people down there.
In a sense, she discovered her voice. She has a great voice, and later on in her career, she'll use it to great effect in films. but it wasn't what she was expecting. And this is, in many ways, what happens to her, is that she's better than she thinks she is at so many things throughout her career.
This carried on when the family was evacuated to Somerset, and she took part in various little sort of village shows, both as a singer and in fact as a dancer, although she was untrained in either. When they returned to London, it was clear that she wanted to go to some form of performing school.
When she came back from evacuation, she went to the Ada Foster Dance School in London. And there she was spotted by the British filmmaker Val Guest.
Val Guest, who was on the lookout for young performers for a Margaret Lockwood movie called Give Us the Moon, picked her out and began her movie career, you know, barely a teen.
Take that. If ever one of those scavengers shows his face inside these doors, bang that gong until I arrive.
What's it worth?
Eh? Oh, give it 10 bob.
10 bob? That's coolie wages.
Make it a pound.
All right, it's a deal.
Where are they?
Oh, just rehearsal.
After Give Us the Moon, Simmons had several more supporting roles in further British films made during World War II, including Mr. Emmanuel and Kiss the Bride Goodbye. Then, after the war's end, Simmons was cast in David Lean's adaptation of the classic Charles Dickens tale, Great Expectations.
This door, boy.
After you, miss.
Don't be silly. I'm not going in.
David Lean directs Great Expectations, one of the masterpieces of British cinema. And he casts her as Estella, which is a very complicated part. She does it well. She's magnificent, in fact. And she always said that David Lean actually made her think about how serious movie acting was, and he made her stay. She said she really began to see that this was something she could do. Before that, she was just going through things. But he helped her to see she could do it, and so she decided to stick with it.
4 for these.
1 for a jack.
He calls the knaves jacks, this boy. And what coarse hands he has. You stupid, clumsy, laboring boy.
She says many hard things of you, but you say nothing of her. What do you think of her?
I don't like to say.
Tell me in my ear.
I think she's very proud.
Anything else?
I think she's very pretty.
Anything else?
I think she's very insulting.
Anything else?
I think I should like to go home now.
And never see her again, though she is so pretty.
If you look back on David Lean's Great Expectations and think, what do you remember? I suppose people remember Magwitch coming out of nowhere, an extraordinary opening. But I think people remember the vision that the very young Pip has of Estella as almost this kind of angelic-like figure. You know, she's only 17 at this time. She really captures the idea of what Miss Havisham has done to her, that kind of robotic, kind of cold-hearted person, the figure of revenge that Miss Havisham has created onto the world, that she'll break every young man's heart. And, you know, it's kind of fitting, I suppose, that in 1989, she would actually play Miss Havisham in a TV version of Great Expectations. But that version, that David Lean film, still defines Dickens for me, still defines the world he created, and she's such a part of that.
Well?
Well, miss?
Am I pretty?
Yes, I think you're very pretty.
Am I insulting?
No, not so much so as you were last time.
Not so much so.
No.
There, take that, you coarse little monster. What do you think of me now?
I shan't tell you.
Because you're going to tell upstairs, is that it?
No, it's not it.
Why don't you cry again, you little wretch?
I'll never cry for you again.
Following the huge success of Great Expectations, Simmons was cast in 1947's Hungry Hill. And in the same year, she also appeared in the Powell and Pressburger drama Black Narcissus.
After David Lean came Michael Powell, who put her in a strange part in Black Narcissus. It was a very controversial film about nuns living very alone in the Himalayas and what happens to them when civilization begins to impede in their lives. And Jean Simmons plays an Indian dancer. Well, she loved dancing, so that was fine. And she's remarkable in the film. She's very beautiful. And this was one of the most beautiful that Michael Powell actually made. It wasn't shot in the Himalayas, but it was certainly beautifully shot. So she'd been now in two famous films, Black Narcissus and Great Expectations.
On a cold winter's night that was so deep.
In 1948, Jean Simmons starred as Ophelia in Laurence Olivier's Hamlet.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy as assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor. Hold it a fashion and a toy and blood.
Laurence Olivier cast her as Ophelia in his film of Hamlet, in which he played Hamlet. It was a bold thing for him to do because she had never done Shakespeare and she was quite nervous about it. In fact, it turned out that it was a very, very good choice indeed. Partly because she had the intelligence to bring to it. She's a quick study. She learnt how to deliver the lines realistically. But more than that, there is an emotional truth to her Ophelia that one very, very rarely sees, actually.
Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich.
Jean Simmons would earn her first Oscar nomination for her performance as Ophelia. The following year she would star in 1949's The Blue Lagoon, before appearing opposite Stuart Granger in Adam and Evelyn.
Come on, let's get the things packed up and upstairs to our room.
Oh, by the way, did you order the car for tonight?
Yes.
You going out tonight, then?
And I'm afraid I have to, on business.
What a pity. Never mind, Bill and I can clear it.
I'm sorry, Miss Evelyn. I'm afraid I have to go, too.
To business? With Adam?
Yes, he has to see I don't get into any mischief.
Oh.
Well, you won't be lonely, will you?
Oh, no, of course not. I've got lots of things to do. And I'll bring your breakfast first thing in the morning.
Well, don't bother.
I don't mind, really, I don't. I shall be up early anyway.
Adam and Evelyn was really made under the aegis of Stuart Granger, who she'd then married. And he had actually had the role written with her in mind, this role of Evelyn. Here she's a kind of the uptight girl who's become the ward of an inveterate gambler, played by Stuart Granger. And the joke of it all, and so it's sort of lightweight romantic comedy, the film. The joke of it is he has to hide it from her because he's trying to impress her in some ways. The fact he has this rather loose life. Meanwhile, he's trying to put on this show for her so he doesn't sort of upset her. And of course, wouldn't you know, as the truth becomes unveiled, she starts to fall in love.
Gene Simmons and Stuart Granger would marry in 1950. That same year, she starred in 4 British films: Cage of Gold, The Clouded Yellow, Trio, and So Long at the Fair.
Oh, Johnny, look.
The Eiffel Tower.
Isn't it wonderful? Will you take me up it tomorrow?
What? Up that thing?
But wouldn't it be marvellous to be one of the first 2 people to go up it?
I will see.
Gene Simmons had a contract with Rank from Adam and Evelyn, a 5-year contract. And she was also being encouraged by David Lean to do stage work. He thought she could make an RSC actress as part of her sort of development. But she instead chose to go to Hollywood with her husband, Stuart Granger, who at that point had a contract waiting for him out there. Unusually, the billionaire, I guess, Howard Hughes, had become obsessed with her and desperately wanted her to be under his control. So he bought her contract from Rank. She'd never signed with him. Rank just sold it over.
But this contract will become, more of a straitjacket than, a great deal in Hollywood. Because according to Hughes's rules, that this contract wouldn't allow him to lend her to other studios. She could only make RKO pictures. So it would restrict the number of pictures she could do. And she would take him on in the courts, and over a long legal battle, took I think maybe a year, she would win something of a victory, where finally he would pay her out something like $250,000, and she would have the permission to go and make films, with other studios, but would still remain under contract to RKO.
It caused an enormous ruction. In fact, it interrupted her career. It sort of damaged her career because Hughes was so powerful that he made her life hell. She did make some films with him, and some of them are very good.
Simmons would twice star alongside Victor Mature whilst at RKO, in Androcles and the Lion and Affair with a Stranger. But it was the film noir Angel Face with Robert Mitchum that proved her most enduring work of this challenging period.
Hello.
Well, hello. You do get around fast, don't you?
I parked my broomstick outside.
Beer, Harry. And what do witches drink?
Just coffee.
Smoke?
No.
Don't drink, don't smoke. How old are you?
20. Next month. I had to get out. I couldn't stay there after what happened.
What did happen?
I don't know.
The film was rather good. It wasn't very successful at the time, nor was it given very good reviews. But now, Jean-Luc Godard regards it as one of the best American films ever made. And several critics have said as a film noir, it was really a wonderful film. So it's gone up now as to one of her best films.
In my opinion, the best performance of her career. I think it is the best film that she did, her best performance. It's not widely regarded. When people talk about Gene Simmons, it's not the first film you think of, but it's such a perfect noir thriller, and she's just at the top of her game. And I think it's essential viewing.
In 1953, Simmons reunited on screen with her husband Stuart Granger in Young Bess, a film that dramatised the early life of Queen Elizabeth I.
You're full of tricks. I suppose that's why they sent you.
Don't you trust me?
I don't trust any messenger from the king.
I think if the king could see you as I see you now, he'd change his mind about you.
Why?
Because you're so like him. The very way you stand there. Stubborn, suspicious. Exactly like him. Even to that murderous clutch on the inkwell, as though you wanted to throw it at my head. The king's daughter. And yet there's something else in your face. Very interesting.
Jean finally gets away from Howard Hughes, it's over, and she's signed by MGM to do a film called Young Bess, and it's one of those groups of pictures that started coming out to kind of relate to the coronation of the young Queen Elizabeth II. So this is around that whole celebration, that whole, get that feeling going. And Jean Simmons is young Bess, young Elizabeth before she becomes the Queen.
Oh, I know. They made your childhood very unhappy. But I think that someday you're going to be as beautiful as she was. And everyone will fall in love with you. And that, Your Highness, will save you from ever being lonely, as you are now. Goodbye, my Lady Elizabeth. I shall have to tell the king I failed. He'll be surprised, I'm afraid, because hitherto I've been lucky with my missions. However, so be it. Goodbye.
What has happened? What does this mean? Wait! Wait!
In 1953, Jean Simmons starred in the biblical epic, The Robe.
It's good to see you, Marcellus.
It's good to see you again.
Then you do remember me.
Yes, of course. Let me see now. It was the.
And your promise, have you forgotten that too?
What promise?
To marry me?
Was I drunk?
That's not very flattering, Marcellus.
Oh, I mean, if you'd tell me when I was supposed to have said this, the circumstances.
Oh, I remember them perfectly. I'd cut my finger, and I cried. And then you took a dagger and you cut your own finger to show me that it didn't really hurt. Then you kissed me and I stopped crying. And then you promised to marry me when we grew up.
The Robe was a smash hit, a biblical epic that follows Richard Burton, who was the tribune who won the robe at Christ's crucifixion and takes it with him, covers his head with it during the rainstorm that followed, and is struck with this sort of terrible guilt from his actions. Meanwhile, back in Rome, you have the court of Caligula to be and all the machinations going on. In the middle of this is poor Jean Simmons as the betrothed, and the one who loves Richard Burton, but is sort of left to fend for herself amongst the kind of these terrible sort of Roman consuls.
Here it is. Here.
Why, it's just ordinary homespun. Was it really bewitched?
In a way. It changed my life. In time, it will change the world.
I don't understand.
It's a long story. A strange one.
About the robe?
Yes, about the robe. The one who wore it.
By this time, Jean Simmons is a recognized Hollywood player. She's got an international reputation. She's a star, but she's not starry. She's not one of those actresses who promotes herself. She's always more interested in the performance and doing a good job. She does a very good job in The Robe. This is a kind of throwback biblical epic. It's a throwback to the sort of Cecil B. DeMille films of the 1920s and the early 30s. And Simmons shows now that she can operate on a large canvas. She has to compete with the scenery. She has to compete with that kind of epic stuff, and she does it with ease.
Following the enormous success of The Robe, Simmons then starred alongside Spencer Tracy in The Actress, and with Robert Mitchum once again in She Couldn't Say No. Simmons also co-starred with Victor Mature once again in another epic, The Egyptian, before taking the title role in the Napoleonic drama Desiree.
I should like to know why you were so concerned about this marriage.
I'll tell you. Your family is obviously very well-to-do, and I'm sure that your father left a considerable dowry for you and your sister.
Do you mean your brother would want to marry Julie only for her dowry?
How can you say that? She's a lovely girl. In many ways, she's almost as lovely as yourself. I'm sure that Joseph finds her delightful, and they will be very happy together.
I'm going to tell Julie every word you said.
Exactly. That's why I'm explaining it to you so carefully. You see, I want my family to be well settled. Joseph will be the first. The others will have to wait until after my Italian victories.
And you think you can make people do just as you wish? That life will come out just as you plan it?
Have you ever heard of Destiny, Desiree? Desiree, desired one. It's a beautiful name. It becomes you.
Gene Simmons' next project was Desiree with Marlon Brando, which is actually based on a real character. She was one of Napoleon's early lovers. And Gene Simmons plays Desiree. She plays a woman whose relationship with Napoleon, unfolds in different ways across the course of his life. It's a beautiful job that she does, and it is a very successful film.
In 1955, Simmons starred alongside her husband, Stuart Granger, one final time in Footsteps in the Fog, before reuniting with Marlon Brando in Guys and Dolls.
I wonder what he'll be like.
Who?
Oh, that upright, downright, forthright square with his close-shaved chin up, who right now somewhere is marching along the proper approach, the proper you. What'll he be like?
He will not be a gambler, for one thing.
I can name better than you can the things he won't be, but what will he be? Or how will you know when he gets to you?
Don't worry. I'll know.
For I've imagined every bit of him, from his strong moral fiber to the wisdom in his head, to the homey aroma of his pie.
You have wished yourself a small-town Galahad, the breakfast-eating four-button type.
And I shall meet him when the time is ripe. I'll know when my love comes along. I won't take a chance.
She and Brando clearly got on because they appeared together in Guys and Dolls, which of course changed all their fortunes. Guys and Dolls is one of the great musicals.
Guys and Dolls is 1955, Joseph Mankiewicz, a film adaptation of the great Broadway musical about a couple of rough guys played by Marlon Brando and Frank Sinatra, and sort of Salvation Army women played by Gene Simmons and Sally Blaine, who reprises her role from Broadway. It's the opposite of everything you'd expect Brando to do, everything you'd expect her to do. It's a musical, and they sing, and they dance, and they sing together. And I guess the courage of being in a musical with Frank Sinatra must have been pretty immense, but they are wonderful together. It's just, well, she's a dancer, so she's able to pull it off. But I mean, to see them both singing, and it is her voice. It's a kind of a forgotten little gem, but in its day, it was a big picture. And it's lovely, it's charming to see her.
Following Guys and Dolls, Gene Simmons took the lead role in The Many Loves of Hilda Crane, before working on 2 films with director Robert Wise in 1957, This Could Be the Night and Until They Sail.
Barbara, there's Mom! 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 Huh? Aren't you going to wave to him, Barbara?
He knows I see him, Evelyn. Mark, my darling, I hardly know you. I hardly know my husband. A month. A small month.
Until They Sail is about 4 New Zealand sisters, all of whom fall in love with American servicemen in some form or another, and how the war unfolding affects various different aspects of their relationships. It's got an incredible cast. It's got Paul Newman plays Gene Simmons' love interest. There's Sandra Dee. It's an epic performance. The best thing about it, though, is the love scenes between Newman and Simmons. They are both, I mean, they're so beautiful and they're so young and they're so on their game that when they're romancing each other, it's a joy to watch.
Yeah, it's a great game of musical chairs. The New Zealanders go to North Africa and the North Americans come to New Zealand. And every place you got this. Well, war makes strange bedfellows.
In 1958, Gene Simmons was cast in the star-studded western, The Big Country.
No, it was fine.
More?
No, thanks. Nope.
I didn't realize Buck Hennessy was that rough on you.
In addition to Mr. Hennessy, I had a little trouble with a horse.
Don't tell me they put you on Old Thunder.
That's the one.
That sounds like Steve Leach to me.
No, he's not to blame. It was my own idea.
He's a rough man, Steve. The whole country's betting on what will happen when he and Buck Hennessy finally fight. I suppose you think we're pretty uncivilized.
No.
People laying bets as to which of 2 men will kill the other?
Well, on my last voyage, we had a man fall overboard, and while they were picking him up, the crew was making bets as to which would get to him first. The lifeboat or the sharks.
What happened?
She now makes a Western, The Big Country, which was a big Western. William Wyler's sort of big, sprawling, dynastic Western, which was basically about 2 ranching families and Gene Simmons, who has her own ranch, which has water sort of caught in the middle between the 2 of them.
It was very difficult to shoot for her because the script was changed practically every day, and when she got on the set, she wasn't quite sure what she was supposed to say. But it was a good Western, there's no doubt about it, with Gregory Peck and Charlton Heston in the cast. And it was certainly very popular at the box office, at a time when Westerns were beginning to fade out a little bit. But The Big Country sort of proved that you could still make an epic Western and have good box office with it.
In the same year as The Big Country, Simmons also starred in Home Before Dark.
Come on, honey.
Well, Charlotte.
Arnold.
There now.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I would cry.
Home Before Dark lets us see Gene Simmons again at the limits of her emotions, in effect. She plays a wife whose husband no longer loves her, who has effectively spent a couple of years in an institution of some kind to do with her nerves, and who returns home to deal with the situation that's unfolding in front of her. She is battling between trying to understand if she's having a nervous breakdown or if what she's seeing is really going on or how to deal with this. And she plays it with a very tight, very modern performance. She's believable as someone in a variety of mental states, as she has been before, but this has an edge to it that some of the other ones didn't. It's a very dark but brilliantly put together performance of potential madness.
After Home Before Dark, Simmons appeared opposite Rock Hudson in This Earth Is Mine, before taking on the role of Sister Sharon Falconer in Elmer Gantry.
When I arrived here and I saw your gracious countryside, I said to myself, I won't. I just won't be cooped up with a lot of stodgy old ministers discussing hell and damnation. So I sneaked out, and I've been doing what most of you have been doing. Farming. Milking the cows, lying in the clover, and letting the joy of God's nature flow into my heart. And here's the proof there's a happy, joyful God, a bountiful God, a generous God. Milk! The good Lord's nectar, and pass it along to those dear newspaper reporters so they can wash out the taste of whiskey.
Elmer Gantry was a big success for her. It was a big success as a film. It was directed by Richard Brooks, and it was really about an American preacher with a heart of stone. And I think she probably gives one of her very best performances in the film. Burt Lancaster plays the preacher, and he's wonderful too. And the film was awarded all over the place. So it was an important picture at the time, and she struck up a relationship with Richard Brooks, which was afterwards going to be her second marriage.
If he thirst, give him drink.
Give him drink.
Be not overcome with evil.
Be not overcome with evil,
but overcome evil with good. Amen.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
In 1960, Gene Simmons starred opposite Laurence Olivier once again in Stanley Kubrick's Spartacus.
Aha! An eavesdropper. Oh, the god! How far from Rome must I go to avoid that cunning face?
Oh, Crassus, don't talk about Gracchus. He's so hateful.
For Gracchus, hatred of the patrician class is a profession, and not such a bad one either. How else can one become master of the mob and first senator of Rome?
Oh, Crassus, it's so boring. I believe that girl smells of perfume.
Whatever it is, she smells most delectable.
You can't keep slaves from stealing these days unless you chain them.
When a slave's as pretty as she is, she doesn't have to steal. An arrangement is made.
If her ankles are good, you could be sure an arrangement was made.
Master!
Merciful heavens, a catastrophe. Well, I've been anointed.
Why, you trollop. I believe you did that on purpose.
It's an accident. Come here, girl. Don't be frightened. What country are you from?
Britannia.
How long have you been a slave?
Since I was 13.
Stanley Kubrick insisted upon her first Spartacus. There were several other stars who badly wanted the part. But Stanley got his way, and she gave one of her best performances in an epic which at the time was rather snootily dealt with by the critics, but is now, you think now, well, if any epic was any good at all, it's Spartacus.
What do you remember when you think about Spartacus?
It doesn't distress you to talk about him?
No.
Well, then, what sort of a man was he, really?
He was a man who began all alone, like an animal. Yet on the day he died, thousands and thousands would gladly have died in his place.
Following Spartacus, Gene Simmons then starred alongside Cary Grant in The Grass is Greener.
Hello, Handy. What are you doing here?
Hello, darling. How are you?
Splendid, thanks. How are you?
Never better. Pleased to see me?
Not very.
Surprised to see me?
Not very.
Oh, and I paid half a crown to come in halfway especially.
No, you didn't.
I call it a swindle. What do you mean I didn't?
You came in that way because you knew that just about a week ago today someone else came in that way, and you thought what fun it would be to do the same.
Darling, I love you more and more every time I see you.
Oh, that's good.
But you're only half right. If I'd come in the normal way, you would have told Sellers to say that you'd gone out or abroad or something.
That's right.
Such a pity. Our love for each other is founded on mutual distrust.
The Grass is Greener is a hugely enjoyable romp. You've got some wonderful interplay between Cary Grant and Gene Simmons.
She more than equaled him in the film, which is saying something because Cary Grant was one of the best actors Hollywood had ever had. Never gave a bad performance in his life. You could say that Gene Simmons never gave a bad performance either, as a matter of fact.
Oh, Hattie. Hattie, this is Charles Delacroix. No one calls her anything but Hattie except at a bank where they call her Mrs. Durrant.
How do you do, Mr. Delacroix? I've heard such a lot about you.
How do you do?
Oh, Hill, darling. Hello, darling. Were you warm enough without your coat, dear?
Yes, thank you, darling.
Well, come on in.
The mid-1960s saw Simmons take on a wide range of roles, including a pregnant widow in All the Way Home, socialite in Mr. Budwing, and a recent divorcee in Divorce American Style. Then in 1967, she appeared alongside Dean Martin and George Peppard in Rough Night in Jericho.
I'm sorry about Mr. Hickman.
Well, those things happen.
I know who did it.
Looks good.
Don't you want to know?
Not particularly.
Oh.
Ma'am, do you know what you do when you walk into a bad bar and the hairs in the back of your neck stick up? You get your drink, you pay for it, you turn around and you walk out.
And this is a bad bar.
Yes, ma'am. Jericho is a bad bar. As soon as Ben's up to it, why, him and me will be leaving.
Rough Night in Jericho, Gene Simmons returned to the Wild West. She was a stagecoach company owner who was the only person holding out against Dean Martin's bad guy in town. And she does it beautifully. He keeps coming to try and take her land or take her company over. And she said, "You get off this land right now, Alex Fowler." And she does it with a very commanding presence so that you believe that this guy who would probably shoot half the town dead if given half a chance is slightly scared of her and doesn't really know how to deal with her. And in the end, it being a Western, she pulls together George Peppard's gunfighter and they sort of mount a spirited defense. But it's the interplay initially, the first half where Dean Martin's trying to break her, that shows her at her best.
A hanging's no place for you.
There won't be a hanging.
Jury says there will. It's all legal.
Tell your men to turn McGibbon loose.
You're interrupting justice, Molly.
Not one more step.
Following Rough Night in Jericho, following basically a film career, she made many appearances in very high caliber television series. In fact, the cream of the crop, including Thornbirds, and continued a career, as many actresses do, quite successfully in good television series.
She could be wonderfully moral and righteous and very funny with that. She was great opposite kind of big male personalities, you know, like Gregory Peck, like Marlon Brando, like Robert Mitchum. She also showed that she could be wonderfully eloquent and incredibly versatile. The range of films she did is fantastic.
I think what characterizes her most is she has the spark of intelligence in her eyes, and it's there in all of her roles. And yet, it doesn't interfere with her performances. I think that she is one of Britain's greatest screen actresses, and I still think that she is probably underrated.
Jean Simmons' legacy is the legacy of a great movie star. When you see her at the peak of her career, she's such an astonishing performer. She really was the real deal.
I think she should be way up in the pecking order as one of the British actresses who really succeeded in Hollywood and became a big star there for a number of years in a number of notable films.
Jean Simmons was, first of all, one of the radiant beauties of the cinema. She played against that beauty. She began to know what it was as the time went on. I think her reputation and her work is going to grow as the years go on. She is very, very important presence in American and British and world cinema.